Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, and this is the third and final part of my series on the question of whether something can come from nothing. Now, if you haven't seen the first two videos, I highly recommend that you do so, as this video continues seamlessly with those, so you may be a little confused if you haven't seen the rest of the series. This third part in the series is going to be covering Humean objections to the statement, something can't come from nothing. So let's get right into this. Now, there is a crafty argument that was presented by David Hume in the 18th century that attempts to show that something can come from nothing. I'm going to paraphrase / quote a section of Edward Feser's book, The Last Superstition, that showcases this objection. Hume says that we can easily conceive of something coming into being without a cause. What he has in mind is something like this. Imagine a surface of a table without nothing on it. Now imagine a bowling ball suddenly appearing out of nowhere. Then Hume would say that you just conceived of something coming into being from nothing. One problem with this argument is that it assumes falsely that to imagine something, to form a certain mental image, is the same as to conceive it, in the sense of forming a coherent intellectual idea of it. But imagining something and conceiving it in the intellect simply aren't the same thing. You can form no clear image of a kilogon, a thousand-sided figure, certainly not one that's at all distinct from your mental image of a 997-sided figure or a 1002-sided figure. Still, your intellect can easily grasp the concept of a kilogon. You can form no mental image of a triangle that is not equilateral, isosceles, or scaling, but the concept of triangularity that exists in your intellect, which abstracts away from these features of concrete triangles, applies equally to all of them, and so forth. Like many empiricists, Hume conflates the intellect and the imagination, and his argument, indeed his philosophy in general, sounds plausible only if one follows him in committing this error. Now, I know I just mentioned some things about universals which we've never covered before, but I'd like to do that in a future video. For the sake of the argument, it doesn't change anything. Another point I would like to make is that, as Elizabeth Anscombe has pointed out, to imagine something appearing suddenly isn't even to imagine it, let alone conceive of it coming into existence without a cause. Suppose the situation described really happened to you. A bowling ball suddenly appears on your table. Would your first spontaneous reaction be, wow, Hume was right. Look, a bowling ball just came into existence without a cause. Or you would probably more likely say, where in the world did that come from? A question that implies that there is a source, a cause from which the bowling ball sprang. Then you'd look for the cause, a hole in the ceiling maybe, or a magician's trick. If nothing this mundane can be found, you might even consider something exotic like a mad scientist testing a teleportation device, or a bizarre and otherwise astronomically improbable quantum fluctuation in the table. Even if you could somehow rule these explanations out, it's unlikely you'd resign yourself to the idea that there is no cause. You'd probably just think, I guess I'll never know what caused it. What caused it? Not whether it was caused. In any case, there's simply nothing about the situation Hume describes that amounts to imagining something coming into existence without a cause, as opposed to coming into existence with an unknown cause or unusual cause. And for a third and final point that really knocks down Hume's argument, Anscombe also asks us to consider how we go about determining whether this sort of scenario we've been describing really is a case of something coming into existence in the first place, as opposed, say, to merely reappearing from somewhere else where it had already existed. And the answer is that the only way we could do so is by making reference to some cause of the thing suddenly being here as a creating cause, specifically rather than a transporting cause. Thus, the only way we can ultimately make sense of something coming into being is by reference to a cause. What Hume says we can easily conceive not only hasn't been conceived by him, it seems likely impossible to conceive. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this 3-part series on why something can't come from nothing. Let me know whether you did or didn't in the comment section below, and if you did, definitely hit that like button as it helps me out a lot and shows me what you guys like. Also, feel free to let me know of any topics you want me to cover next, and please consider subscribing so that you can stay up to date on all my latest content. As always, God bless.